the Dolphins. If you've been hanging around, we didn't have them as our biggest losers because we were going to talk about them at this moment. The Dolphins just blew a lead to the Carolina Panthers. Neither of us are very high on the Panthers. This was a bad look, but Rico Dowdle had a career-defining game. Just initial thoughts from the Dolphins' perspective, though.
It's over. The season is over. Go ahead and wrap it up. Mike McDaniel's quote said today that the owner was really frustrated with this loss. Yeah, everyone's frustrated with this loss, dude. You're gone. You're gone. So is Greer, dude. This whole organization. I've been alive for 20 years now. I haven't even sniffed a playoff win, dude. It's been so bad for such an extended period of time. Tua has still 3 years left on his contract or some crazy stuff like that. It's like top 10 in total amount of money on his contract. Like we can't get Tua out of here. So just there needs to be a reshuffling across the board. The Dolphins look absolutely atrocious. And it's so sad because there are glimpses of what this team could look like in the first quarter and a half. We're up 17-0. The offense had scored in like each of their first 2 drives or something like that. They had 2 touchdowns, a field goal. It felt like there could be something there, and it was against the Panthers. So it probably wasn't anything, but the fact that they weren't able to keep a 17-point lead versus the Panthers, and then when things got going, they were finally able to kind of tie it. They were able to tie it up with Jalen Waddle, that Alabama connection once again showing itself in the NFL. And then the defense just lets them go right back down the field. And there we have it. That's the story of the Miami Dolphins in 2025. I can't be bothered to keep on investing in this team anymore. Like, this was definitely the breaking point. If we can't beat the Carolina Panthers, it's time to let the season go, unfortunately.
Bryce Young's like the clutchest player I think I've ever seen on an awful team, because no matter what, even if they're down 35-3 in the fourth quarter, they're going to tack on some touchdowns. Great in garbage time. And if the game is relatively close, they might actually win it, like just at the end of the game, or they'll definitely compete. And then everybody might actually say, well, they'll give Bryce Young another few more weeks to figure it out. That's the way that I look at it for the Panthers team. And that's how low I am on the Panthers. And that's why this is such a bad loss for the Dolphins. McDaniel won't make it to the end of the year. We will, I actually do think, see Quinn Ewers start a game at some point this season. I don't think it'll have to do with Tua getting injured or anything like that. I just think that they're going to want to see what they have in-house with this squad, and that's where they are. This division now, with the Bills being at the top, the Patriots looking like maybe they're potentially turning a corner, is really unfortunate for the Dolphins. They can hang around down there with the Jets for the foreseeable future, but they're going to have to, it's a full rebuild now. It's one of those things, we talked about it after the Colts game, where if that sort of play continues, it's going to be goodbye head coach, goodbye quarterback. I know you mentioned Tua's contract. I mean, they might have to figure something out with that, or at least he won't start. So he's not the future, maybe in that case. I'm not blaming it this game on Tua though. Like, that wasn't really exactly why they lost. It's just an implosion on all aspects. And Rico Dowdle had 200 yards. I mean, sometimes if there is an opposing player that has an amazing game, it's not just on the opposing defense or what have you. It's also, hey, he had the game of his life. They leaned on him like the entire game. So I'll give him a little bit of credit. But yeah, awful loss for the Dolphins. Total reset at some point this year.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be bothered with this isn't the Tua, it's not his fault thing anymore, though, because watching that game, it was his fault. It was his goddamn fault, because we couldn't move the ball past the first quarter. It was actually so bad to watch. Like, every single drive, it felt like we were going nowhere. And they were just kicking it back to the Panthers, and then they weren't going anywhere. And it was just back and forth of 2 terrible teams doing what they do best. Like, it was actually absurd to watch. Like, after we were feeding Darren Waller, we were feeding Jalen Waddle, and then he just couldn't complete a pass. We had like 20 rushing yards going into the fourth quarter. So Devon Achane, where are you at, bro? And just in general, this team is just, this offense is just so bad. Like, every single drive, it's not even that they weren't putting points on the board after scoring 17. It's that they weren't moving the ball at all. Like, they were just staying so stagnant. It was 3 and out after 3 and out. We got a first down and punted it back. It was like, it made it so frustrating to watch that you just knew the Panthers were going to come back. If you're watching that game closely, like they just kept on giving the Panthers opportunity after opportunity. And it's like, dude, I know they're the Panthers. I know they're a terrible team as well, but they were gonna finally score some points. And then they went down and they made it 17-7. And then they were only down one score going into halftime. It's like, oh, this game, like it's time to wake up and play some real football. And they couldn't do it.
Yeah, I guess I just meant maybe that like it wasn't all on Tua, but I get what you mean. That was just an awful game for the Dolphins. I don't mean to be laughing, but
Yeah,
man,
sorry.
that's rough. That's worst case scenario, I would say.